So now I want to show the tutorial to use this item epic quote. So after you open up this Adobe After Effects project, you can see here there are 3 different versions. So the first one is double click here, the long version, so you can upfill to 16 quotes, and the project's duration is 2 minutes. And then the short version here, up to 6 quote, the project duration is 50 seconds. And the last thing, the final composition, the modular version, so it is up to, you can choose up to 35, and you can modify the quotes depend on your project, so it can up to 8 minutes. So let me show you how to use this. So I want to show you the short version first. So this is the short versions, and then you can change the text and you can put your image here. So the first thing you need to do is import your image to this composition. So you can choose your photo or your image, so you can right click here, import file, and then choose your photo. So for example, I have this photo. We can double click, and then you go to the folder of customize here, you go to the quote number 1, right? So and then you click the media placeholder here, double click, and then you go to click the photo that you've been imported, and then drag and drop to this composition, and then make some adjustment here. I want to scale down a bit. And then once you do that, you go back again to your short version. You can see your photo is already here, and then to change the text and to customize all this thing, you go to the quote number 1. You can double click here, or you can just double click this one, double click to quote number 1. Okay, so to change the text, it's very easy. You can just click this thing and then go to the type tool here, and then you can block all this text, and then expect or delete, and then you can type your quotes here. Alright, so like that, and then you can change this thing too by click this thing, and then alright, so it's very easy to use, and you can okay, see. And then to change the to customize this, you can click the controls layer here, and then go to the effect control, click here, and then you can change the background first. So there are 5 different background that you can use, so you need to choose one of these. For example, you want it to background number 1, you can turn it off number 2, and then click number 1, this is number 1, and then turn off again, and then use this number 2, and then number 3, then number 4, see here, and then number 5. Okay, and then you can change the text color if you want. Just click here, and then go to the corrector here, text color, make it here, for example, see. And we go back again to our controls, and we can change the label. So turn it off, and then label number 1, it's black, so number 2, okay, and number 3, this one, and then the last one, number 4. Okay, and we can change the frame to and then we can change the label position. Sorry, here you can just click this thing, label position, and then you can see there are orange spot here, and then you can just click and drag the position that you want. Okay, and then you can rotate it, label rotation, you see. So it's very easy to customize. And then you go to the photo frame here, we can change, so we can turn it off. You can see if you don't want to use any photo, you can just turn it off. And then this is the frame number 1. Okay, number 2, number 3, and the last one, number 4. See the difference? And then you can change the position to here. Just click the photo frame position and then drag and drop the orange spot here, and then you can rotate it to see the rotation. And then you go to the quote text positions, you can change the position it to, just click this thing and then go to the orange spot here and drag and drop. Alright, and you can go to the rotation to see the rotation, so you don't want to go too far. Okay. Alright, so the next thing is blur level. So as you can see, the default setting is 80, so you can decrease the blur level. For example, just go to the 20. See, the blur is a little bit gone, or you can go to the up to 100, so you can see the difference here. So let me set it by 35. Okay, and then the next thing is vignette, the dark edge here, so you can decrease it too. For example, you go to the 20, see different, or you can go by the 100, so different. Okay, so and then the next thing I want to show you is the dirt effect black. So the dirt effect black is this thing, so use the set 0, so you can just increase 70. For example, you see the difference here, there is a little bit dirt effect here, so you can see. And then the dirt effect white, it's here, so you can increase the opacity here, or you can just decrease, and then the dirt white is gone, so you can change the setting here. Alright, so this is the black one, so you can see the different 100% and then 0, it's gone. So after you do that, you go back to the final composition shot. So you can see here your quote sorry here, so let me just preview it. See, this is very easy to use. And then you can go to the next one, the quote number 2, double click here, and then you can do the same thing, like just with it for the quote number 1, and then you can import again, import file, and then choose your photo. Okay, you go to the quad number 2, double click here, and then just drag and drop to this composition. Okay, go back to quad number 2, see, and then you can change it all, background and the label, see, and then change the label position. Alright, so you can change the text color. Alright, so you go back again to the final comp short. So you need to fill up to 6 quads here, and then just go to the, if you want to render this thing, you go to the render folder here, and then you click here, and then we go to the short version because you work with the short version. So you can render in full HD, or you can render up to 4K resolution. So for example, I have this, I want to use full HD, double click, as you can see here, this is your render composition. So you, after you double click this short version, you go to the composition and then add to render, and then you can change this thing to the QuickTime. I'm usually using photo JPEG, and then 80% quality is already good. And then don't forget to turn on the audio output if you have the music, and then just hit render. Alright, so this is for the short version, and then you go to the long version. So this is the long version, so we already made a change for the number 1 and number 2. So you need to fill this thing up to 16 quad. So you need to do the same thing as we did for the quad number 1 and number 2. Right, and then go to the render folder, and then the number 2 long version. So this time maybe you want to render in 4K, so 4K long version, double click. Alright, and then you did the same thing, just go to the composition, add to render queue, and then change to the QuickTime, format 80, okay, and then hit render. Alright, so the last thing I want to show you is using the modular version. So you go to the final composition modular version here, and then as you can see here, you can did the same thing. So this one you can fill up to 35. So for example, you only want to using, for example, you only want to using 20, so you need to delete the number 21 up to number 35, just delete, and then we go again, and then you can change the duration. So this one is up to 15 seconds every quad. So if you want to make it faster, for example, you only want to make it 5 seconds, so you need to drag this thing to a little bit narrow. So you see the interval, you make it faster, just you can drag and push the every layer to make it faster. So you can see, so it's depend on your project, or you can make it slower again. Yeah, just slide it, make it slower. So yeah, for render this thing, you need to notice that to the end of your composition, you go to the top of your composition, you can see so the duration is 4 minutes and 22 seconds. So keep in mind that you need to render just 4 minutes and 22 seconds. So you go to the render version, modular version. So you go to the modular 1080 here, and then you need to adjust this thing. So the render time frame will be 4 minutes 22 seconds. So this is the end. So you don't need to render all this thing because your composition is only 4 minutes 22 seconds. So after you go this thing, after you adjust this thing, you go to the composition, add to render queue, and then quick time. Yes, click OK, and then hit render. Alright guys, so I think it's enough tutorial. So the font that I use is, I'm using this font, the old newspaper type, so you can download it free, 100 free, so you can download it before you use this item. And the link, I'm put the link inside the help file. Alright, so thank you for watching, hope you enjoy this item.